Let's start off with primetime Kirk Cousins. And it got me thinking perceptions. A lot of times people tell you your first impression is your most important impression. And Kirk Cousins' impression his whole entire career was Kirk Cousins cannot play in primetime football. That was it. Kirk Cousins, primetime, big lights, fade him, fade him, fade him. But that's not really who Kirk Cousins is anymore. Kirk Cousins has shown himself to be much better in primetime now. Kirk Cousins has shown himself to be a pretty good quarterback when the lights are bright. Peyton Manning had this for years. Peyton Manning can't win the big game. Well, he started winning big games. In the NBA, LeBron James had this for the longest time. LeBron James is a choke artist. Well, he's won 4 NBA championships. I'm not saying that Kirk Cousins is now going to turn into Tom Brady and win multiple Super Bowls, but this Falcons team is a really good football team that's going to make the playoffs. Kirk Cousins threw for 5 football fields yesterday. 42 for 58, 509 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a pick. And it's not like his wide receivers killed it either. Mooney dropped one of the easiest passes towards the end of the game. We wouldn't even needed overtime to win that game if he caught that one, most likely. But it's crazy how people just have a perception on something and they're not willing to change it no matter what happens. And that's what happened with Kirk Cousins. Oh, wow, the Falcons got Kirk. Yeah, a couple weeks from now, don't worry, Michael Penix Jr. is going to be starting. I'm a Husky alum. Of course, I'd like to see Penix play, but Kirk Cousins is the better quarterback right now. Coming off an Achilles injury, isn't it crazy to say that Kirk Cousins, coming off his Achilles injury, has looked better than Aaron Rodgers coming off of his Achilles injury? Sure, he's not mobile. He's not moving the ball around much, but there was a moment in the game where he had to get mobile, and we saw him do it. He completed the pass right down the middle, and he had to sprint to the line of scrimmage and hike the ball down to put 1 second left on the clock. Sure looked like his legs could move in, and they sure did move. They moved pretty fast, if you ask me. Kirk Cousins now this year, the Falcons, by the way, are 3-2, and they've already played 3 primetime games. He led them to a comeback win and a game-winning drive against the Philadelphia Eagles. They played the Chiefs on primetime, where, by the way, they probably could have won the game. There was a pass interference in the end zone that wasn't called. That was a Kirk Cousins drive. And then this game against the Buccaneers, down, Kirk Cousins had to lead the team back, and he led the team back, plain and simple. So that's why I always say, first impressions are great, right? They kind of shape what we think of a human being, what we think of a movie. That's why there's movie commercials. They try to give you the best first impression. There's movies that, like Scarface, where it tanked in the box office. They didn't have a good first impression on it. Came out to be my favorite movie of all time and one of the best movies in history of movies. First impressions are great. First impressions are important. But don't let that just shape and dictate every single thing and every single opinion you have about a person, team, player going forward. Shoot, if we did, Brett Favre would have never got another chance. Baker Mayfield here wouldn't have had another chance. Sam Darnold wouldn't be 4-0 for the Vikings. And people would be saying, primetime Kirk can't play. He sure can. And the Falcons now are in a great spot where they can rack up some wins in this NFC South. An NFC South that's a little better than we expected. I mean, we do have Atlanta 3-2, Tampa 3-2, and New Orleans can go 3-2 if they. And by the way, he did lead them to a comeback win and a field goal against the Saints as well. But Saints team that looks pretty good. They got the Panthers, Seahawks, my Seahawks. I'm not going to pick them to win. Buccaneers, Cowboys, Saints, Broncos. There's no reason they shouldn't be in the driver's seat for the NFC South. And maybe Kirk Cousins at home in the bright lights will win a playoff game, kind of like he did in Minnesota where he led a game-winning drive when they said he couldn't win a playoff game. Kirk Cousins has been great. 500 yards. He broke Poor Matt Ryan. He broke Matt Ryan's franchise record for yards in a game on Matt Ryan jersey retirement night. Good for Kirk Cousins, but remember, don't let first impressions always dictate how you feel about a quarterback.